see how to link spreadsheets into FreeCAD drawings and sketches. So we'll start with a new document here and create a body. And it's on spreadsheet right now. I'm going to put it back and just design a part. So here's a body and a sketch from our new part. Put it on the XY plane. That's a good default. Great, and now we'll just make a sketch with a few features in it. So there's a polyline, and there's some kind of circle. There's an angle there that we can specify, and we'll specify a width, an angle, and a length there, and then the radius of the circle and the thickness of this sketch. So may as well just make this a 3D sketch. There we are. So this is the shape that we want to now parameterize in our spreadsheet. So what we'll do, we'll open a new spreadsheet here. The spreadsheet appears in the body or the model tree. And let's try that one again. Go to spreadsheet and new spreadsheet. There's a new spreadsheet, and there you see it appears there in the tree. So we can go in here and we will put three little labels on here: the length, the width, and the height. And then we will also talk about the angle and the radius. So we could put some numbers for these. The length we'll put to 40 millimeters, the width to 20 millimeters, the height, how about to 17 millimeters, the angle 135, and the radius 3. All right, so there's our spreadsheet. These are the variables, and these are their data. Now we can make a link to the data and the variables like this. Each one has a properties menu that comes with the right click. We change the alias tab to LEN. There we are. Now that's the length, and you'll see it'll be highlighted to indicate that it has a variable linked into a set of data. So this one will be WID, and this one will be, how about HEI? There's ANG, and final right click, properties, alias, and that one will be RAD for the radius. Oh, now this one appears to be a keyword. It says RAD, well, it just highlighted it in red, so I'm going to have to name this something like RADI. Good. So just be careful in choosing variable names. I'm still not quite sure what's the best system. It turns out that some of the single letters are also keywords. So you can use the full names or just come up with a system, and be careful in case you find a keyword when you're naming your variables, you'll have to slightly change it. So here's an interesting thing. If I now say RADI, it's going to put 3 instead of RADI. So I may have to preface it with a little single quote to make sure it doesn't do that. There we are. So there are some variables and there is some data. And now we can link this into the dimensions in our sketch and in our pad. So first, let's go to the sketch. And when we do our constraints in a sketch, we can now use a little menu that pops up with this little circle icon here. And we can type in spreadsheet dot RADI. There it is. And now it's constrained to 3 millimeters. Here, we want to make sure that this one is 40 millimeters. So we will go to our icon and spreadsheet. And this one's going to be the length, L-E-N. There we go. Now it's going to be exactly 40. Same thing with our height. We may constrain it using the length constraint. And that's almost 20, but we will pull it out of our menu. Spreadsheet.width, W-I-D. There we go. And the final one to constrain comes from the two lines here and the angle between them. Control allows you to select both of them. This is FreeCAD 0.18, by the way. It may be similar in the other versions of FreeCAD. So now two lines are selected and we may constrain an angle. Oh, looks like there's an active piece of zoom right there. Oh, it was close to 135, but we wanted exactly 135. So spreadsheet dot ANG for angle. There we go. Now, all of the constraints that we need for the moment are done in our sketch. We may close it. And the final detail is to constrain the width of the pad. So we can go into our pad, and again, there's a little icon to pull down spreadsheet data, and this is going to be HEI for height. And there we are. Now all of the data for our sketch have been constrained. And now the nice thing is, if we want to change the look and feel of our item, we can go here and change these details. Let's make the circle bigger. The angle will be, maybe make it a little less, maybe 100. The height will be 2. And maybe the width will be 21. Okay, I've changed all of these. If I go back to my body in my sketch, here it is. Now all the details have changed parametrically. So there's the power of the spreadsheet. Once I have a parameterized model, I can change its features very easily using the spreadsheet. One more try here. Let's make the height much bigger, 25. There, now we'll have a very thick model, and it instantly says that we can make the angle back to a bigger one again. You have to be careful though. If you make a piece of data that goes outside of the geometric properties of your shape, you may get an issue. I'm not sure here, but something's telling me 155 may be a problem. Let's see what happens. Oh, it didn't like that because it didn't change it. So maybe 155 is not possible. I'll just put it back to 135. See if it likes that one. Yeah, there it is. If you put it something beyond the geometric constraints, and as you see here, the maximum length of this is 40 millimeters. And if we make this angle too big or too small, then we'll get some other issues happening. And then we won't be able to constrain the constraints will just prevent it from changing. So there's a little summary of how we may use a spreadsheet to link to a model in FreeCAD. And hope you'll be able to use this to do all kinds of open source work. Thank you.